Let's talk about something we deal with every single day: price. From your morning coffee to the phone in your hand, there's this hidden logic that decides the number on the tag. So, in the next few minutes, we're going to pull back the curtain and decode those secret rules.
I mean, think about it. You see a new gadget launch, and people are literally lining up around the block. Then, another company launches something almost identical, and it's just crickets. What is going on there? Is it just slick marketing, or is there a fundamental rule that businesses either master or get crushed by?
Well, it's definitely not random. The fate of pretty much every product is decided by this invisible negotiation, a constant tug of war happening in the market. It's a battle between two really simple but super powerful forces: what we as customers want to buy and what companies are willing to sell. All right, let's start cracking this puzzle. And the first, most important clue always starts with the customer. In the business world, we call this demand. Now, demand sounds easy enough, but in business, it's actually really specific. See, it's not just about wanting something, it's about being both willing to buy it, and this is the key part, having the money, the ability to actually pay for it.
So yeah, real business demand is like a three-part checklist. Number one, you got to have the desire. Check. Number two, you need the cash, the ability to pay. Check. And number three, you have to be willing to part with that cash for this specific thing. If you're missing even one of those, it's not real demand. It's just wishful thinking.
And this little checklist leads us to the first big rule of pricing: the law of demand. And honestly, it's just common sense, right? When the price of something goes down, way more people can suddenly check all three of those boxes. Imagine a TV you've been eyeing goes 50% off. That sale doesn't just make you want it more, it gives a ton more people the ability and the willingness to finally go for it. But hold on, that's only half the story. We know what we want as buyers: lower prices, obviously. But what about the people selling the stuff? Let's look at the second clue in our puzzle: what businesses can and will put on the shelves. This is what we call supply. And you'll notice this definition is basically the mirror image of demand. Supply is all about the amount of a product that a company is both willing and able to make and sell at a certain price. Now we're looking at this through the eyes of the business owner.
So this brings us to our second big rule, the law of supply. It's the total opposite of demand. As the price goes up, companies get way more motivated to supply more of that thing. Why? Simple: profit. If you're running a bakery and you see people are suddenly willing to pay $10 for a croissant instead of 4, you're going to hire more bakers and start churning out croissants like there's no tomorrow. Higher price equals a bigger payday.
Okay, so let's put this all together. We've got buyers who want low prices and sellers who want high prices. They're pulling in opposite directions. So how on earth does the market decide on one final price? It all happens when we find that perfect sweet spot where these two forces meet. This is the fundamental conflict, right? You walk into a store looking for a deal. The owner wants to make as much as they can. So in this tug of war, who actually wins?
And the answer, which is kind of cool, is neither of them. The market forces a compromise. And that point of compromise has a name: market equilibrium. It's the one single price where the number of products customers want to buy is exactly the same as the number of products businesses want to sell.
This is what it looks like in the real world. At that equilibrium price, everything is just balanced. The shelves aren't empty because of a shortage, but the back room isn't overflowing with unsold stuff either. It's perfect harmony. That price you see on the tag, that's the market's truce between what you want and what they want. Okay, so understanding supply and demand is like level 1. If you want to make the pro move, the real secret weapon for smart pricing is understanding how much your customers react when you change prices. This is a powerful idea called elasticity. Don't let the fancy name scare you. All price elasticity is asking is one simple question: hey, if I mess with my price, are my sales going to change a little, or are they going to change a lot? The answer to that question changes everything about your strategy. Okay, so check out this comparison. On one side, you have inelastic products, think gasoline or critical medicine. If the price of gas goes up, you might grumble, but you probably still have to buy it to get to work. Your demand is insensitive to price. But on the other side, you've got elastic products. Think about a specific brand of chips. If the price suddenly doubles, you'll just shrug and grab the brand next to it, right? Your demand is super sensitive to price because you have tons of other options.
Knowing which camp your product is in is absolutely crucial. So let's bring this all home and make it super practical. Once you get these rules, you can avoid the really common and really expensive pricing traps that so many new businesses fall into. We're going to look at the three biggest mistakes. Pricing for people who only wish they could buy your product, completely forgetting about your competition, and thinking that price is the only dial you can turn. First up, the classic trap, confusing a wish list with actual demand. Look, 1 million people might want a private jet, but the real demand is maybe a few thousand people who have the ability to pay for one. The lesson here is simple. Don't price your product for everyone who wants it. Price it for the much smaller group who can and will actually buy it. And trap number 2 flows right from that idea of elasticity we just talked about. If you jack up your price without even looking at what your competitors are doing, you're basically just handing them your customers on a silver platter. Unless you're selling something with zero alternatives, your price is always chained to the price of the other options out there. And finally, please don't get tunnel vision. Price is a huge lever to pull, but it is not the only one. A killer ad campaign, a new fashion trend, or a shout out from the right person can cause a huge spike in demand, even if you don't change the price by a single penny. So if you only remember one thing from all of this, let it be this. A price tag isn't a dictator. It's the final result of a conversation. It's that perfect balance point between what a customer is willing to give up and what a business is willing to accept. So now you know the invisible forces that are always at work. The next time you're shopping and you see a price, you won't just see a number anymore. You'll see the whole story behind it, that delicate, perfect balance between what someone wants and what someone is willing to sell.